guys, I have another video for y'all today about narcissists. I know that my content is kind of taking this direction as opposed to like more spiritual content, but I've said many times that I think these people are possessed, and so it ends up being a very spiritual issue, especially when you're trying to get away from them. So I wanted to talk to y'all about the pedestal that they put you on and inevitably send you nosediving off of when either you set a boundary with them that does not fit their agenda, because there's some of them that will respect your boundaries up to a certain point, right? Or you do something that displeases them. And I've had a lot of ladies ask me, like, how can you discern if it's a good man versus a narcissist from the beginning if he comes on very strong? And the truth is, you can't up until this point when there's conflict, because inevitably in a relationship and a connection there is going to be disagreement. Somebody's going to do something that the other one doesn't like. It's life, right? And in my opinion, the two things that can't be fixed are cheating and I'm not even going to say that cheating can't be fixed, because there are some people that do it. I just personally, no thanks. Cheating and abuse. So you'll make a mistake that's outside of that realm. It's a normal human mistake. Maybe you raised your voice a little too high. Maybe you were ignoring him, when you shouldn't have been. Maybe you wanted to play games. That always bit me in the ass. My spirits taught me very quickly not to play dating games because you will get your karma. Anyway, the good man will talk it out with you. The good man will forgive you because he actually, from a genuine place, from his soul, we'll say, from his spirit, his inner being, values the relationship. He's going to talk it out with you. He's going to give it another chance. He's going to have that heart-to-heart conversation with you and move on because he values you and he appreciates you for a human being. Not just an agenda or a means to an end. Not an object. And what do narcissists do? They objectify the fuck out of you. The narcissist, when you either set a boundary that they don't like, or you make a mistake of some kind, and they realize you're not perfect, they send you nosediving off of that pedestal that they put you on with the love bombing. Very quickly. Because these people have so much insecurity that they refuse to address. They can't handle conflict. They can't handle when someone is imperfect. Or when the person is setting a boundary that conflicts with their agenda, either with you and whatever they're trying to make happen with you, or in their life. And I'm going to be very vulnerable with y'all and give you an example of a story time from a few years ago when I was dealing with one. I'm a very strong empath, so I've dealt with my fair share of these. And as I grew and was able to navigate it and spot it a lot quicker, and also the closer I got with my spirits, the quicker they push these out of my life. Those muertos are always going to have their way. Okay, it's out of my control. They will push this energy straight out of my life. I've seen it many times, thank God. But I had to go through it really bad, and I've been with a few long term to learn this stuff so I can help you guys. But this was a few years ago, and I was talking to a guy, and we connected really fast, really well. Looking back, there was a lot of love bombing. Así es la vida. I saw this meme one time that said, of course I fall for love bombing, because of course I believe that you can fall for me in 2 weeks, because I'm so amazing, or something along those lines. But I was happy. And the only issue in the relationship was the distance. We were long distance, but other than that, everything was fine. He was treating me very well, and all of that. And I made the decision to look at his Instagram following, like many of us ladies choose to do. And I saw a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Not just one or two. Many. So much so that I didn't even know that that many well, these women existed, but of very promiscuous women online. Now, I have to do my little disclaimer. I'm all for women's empowerment, but me personally, while I don't push my beliefs onto anyone, that I have to give context for this boundary that I set, right? I don't want a man that follows a bunch of half-naked or borderline naked women online. Just like I will not be with someone that watches porn. I don't believe in it. I think it's very low level. I think it's an energetic gateway for the toxic masculine to siphon off of the feminine. I really do. And I personally don't think that women should be exposing themselves not because of anything to do with the feminine. There's nothing wrong with the feminine. It's the way that it causes the masculine to treat you in a cheap and objectified way because of their own issues. If I had it my way, never mind, I'm not going to say that. That's kind of extreme. I believe that women should have the choice to dress however they want to or not, but I don't think it's to women's benefit, if that makes sense. So I don't want to be with a man that supports that crap. I just don't. I think it's gross. Like, you're lusting over all of these women with fake noses, and also at the same time, and I told him all this, right? I said, you're following a bunch of these women, right? And one can assume, just like everybody else, you're on Instagram a good amount of the time, right? Instagram is a very popular platform. So you're interacting with these women. Side note, I don't understand how these guys get so attached to these women that don't even know they exist, much less care, and would never give them the time of day. But you're seeing a lot of these women online, and then you're dating me. I do not have fake boobs. And if that's what a woman wants to do with her body, that is her choice. I think that we should have unlimited choices, okay? I don't think that should be taken away from us. Again, I don't think it's truly to the benefit of the feminine. I don't support it. I don't like it. I don't push those beliefs onto anyone, but if you ask me, I don't believe in it. I think it's very damaging to society. Because the reality is not everyone has access to go underneath the knife. And you are taking away from the natural beauty of the feminine. Just my opinion. I don't support it. So, one could question if I'm even your type, because look at what you're following versus me. It's not that I'm saying they are better or worse than me, or they are or are not prettier than me. It's just a difference. And everyone has a type. And I told him, I said, you can either unfollow and delete all these women, or you can lose me. I did not tell him what to do. I did not say, delete them. I don't do that. I give men choices. I set a boundary and I give them a choice. Either they're like dogs. Either you do this, it results in this. You don't do this, this is what happens. However they choose to respond, because I'm not a controlling person, that determines my behavior. So in a way, I gave him an ultimatum. And I said, either keep following them and lose me, or don't. And it's also embarrassing, right? Because if I have a friend, and she has a new boo, and I'm her friend, or her cousin, or her sister, and I go to look at his profile, and I know that he's with her, and he's following all these promiscuous women, it makes their relationship look very bad. It makes him look bad, and it's kind of embarrassing for her. Because you have other women that are snarky and gossipy and sitting there saying, like, have you seen the girls he's following? Basically saying your man's a pig. It's not cute. And can y'all imagine what he chose? point in my life, I had enough inner work to where it didn't make me question my worth, you know? But he was like, realistically, I have to choose them. He tried to say that they were his friends. I'm like, but absolutely none of them follow you back. They don't even know you exist, but you're saying they're your friend. Okay. I guess it's a one-sided friendship then. He thought I would fall for that, right? And then I basically was like, okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know what your decision is. And then he blocked me. He blocked my number, stonewalling, another one of their favorite tactics. And all of this happened very quickly, like within an hour. Okay. He blocked my number, which is, I swear to God, it is a narcissist's favorite feature. I think that we should have the choice to block people or not. It's a very useful option when you're being a victim of abuse. That is necessary, right? But some people misuse it and use it as a cop-out to not have disagreements, to have control, you know? Because what these people think is that you are going to grovel. And subconsciously, well, at this point it's not even subconscious, a lot of them will do this to try to get you to backslide on whatever your decision was. If it was you setting a boundary, they want you to grovel, they want you to create a second number and ask for them back and say, oh no baby, it's okay that you're following a bunch of half-naked women on Instagram, it's okay, just stay with me. I'm not a pick-me. I know how to get a man, I know how to keep a man. There's enough in the world. I used to be that girl when I was much younger. I used to be that girl. I would get blocked by my narcissistic boyfriend and create second numbers, third numbers, whatever. I was never the type to call like 40 times in a row, but I'll send a text or two if he blocked me over nothing. But this particular thing is one of my non-negotiables. Because in my mind, if you'll follow that many women and refuse to unfollow them, you will cheat on the first chance you get. You will cheat with one of those types of women. Because it's very low level, it's very lustful. And that also is an indicator of someone who will be unfaithful, in my opinion. It all leads to the same crap. And I'm sure many ladies will agree with me. They will, and I'm like stuttering right now because I am just so baffled that all of this even happened. Even though it was years ago, the fact that it happened so fast and like our connection seemed to be nearly perfect, and then this happens, it just goes to show how calculating these people are. But blocked me like it was nothing. And I did what Nikki does and created a second phone number and sent one text cussing his out. Because that's what I will do. You're gonna hear this last word from me, you bitch. And then I'll let it go and not care. And what's funny with these people is I don't block them. Because I know how they are, and they're gonna try to breadcrumb and come right back when they are not getting the groveling that they want. Because they get so used to your sweetness. Because they bring that out of you, right, with the love bombing. They get so used to that they think when they, like, stonewall you and axe you out, that you're gonna roll over. They overestimate your love for them, and they underestimate the love you have for yourself. I'm not saying I've never been that girl. But by this point, by that relationship that I'm referring to, I had worked through all that. And of course, within 2 days, he was on my phone saying, you know what, you're right. And it only took me 2 days to get over it, so I was like, you know what, thank you for your apology, but I'm good. Because I don't want someone that blocks me when we're having a disagreement. I just don't. It's a turn off for me. It tells me that you're a toddler in a man's body and you can't deal with conflict. Because I'm not giving you any reason to block me. I'm not sending you 40 messages. I might send a few. Like 2 or 3. But my whole point to this video is this is what happens when you're dating a narc. It's a very telltale sign of them. And I don't want y'all to be questioning your worth. Because that's what these people will try to do. Because that's how people gain their control. Is by trying to diminish your sense of self-worth. And the way to uphold your self-worth is to stick to your boundaries. My boundaries are the same. It doesn't matter how handsome a guy is. It doesn't matter how much money he has, his status, how good he is in bed. Because I've been through all that. I've dated many wealthy men. I've dated many handsome men that look like professional football players, or soccer. They always call it football. Soccer players. That are professional soccer players. I've dated men with good PP. And made exceptions. And I've dealt with all that. And now that I've got these boundaries, they are firm. Because they're embedded in me. Because I embody that. Because I finally realized all I did was set a boundary. And if you're going to choose a bunch of women that don't know you exist over one that actually loves you and cares about you, we have nothing here. Because you don't value the actual connection. You just value me for whatever validation, I guess, I give you. And sweetness and love and joy. And I'm so glad that I stuck to that boundary because I don't want that crap in my life. And there are men out there that don't follow a bunch of promiscuous women and that don't watch porn. It's called having control over those lust demons. Lust can be a very, very low-level force. Sexual energy is not the problem. It's how it's used and manipulated that becomes the issue. Just like money isn't a problem. Money itself is not the issue. It's how it's used and manipulated. Right? Like, these energetic things are not the issue. I want a partner that's lustful after me in an appropriate way because he values me, and vice versa. I don't want one that's just lust. You can keep that. I've met plenty of men like that. Most men are like that. I'm good. But I've also met a handful that actually have control over their nature. And it's a much more beautiful thing, I promise you. And ladies, they do exist. Okay? And I know a lot of women deal with this Instagram crap or corn crap. And I don't suggest that you put up with it. Because it comes with a plethora of issues. That's just my opinion. But I gave this as an example so that y'all can see how this manifests in real life. And when they knock you off that pedestal, when there's conflict that inevitably will come, that is what tells you if it's a good man or not. Because the good man will not knock you off that pedestal. He'll keep you on it and work things out with you. Which is what you deserve. Excuse me. Okay? I gotta go drink some water. But I hope this helped y'all. You're worth so much more than these narcs trying to make you out to be. Ignore them. Don't give them the validation that they crave once you realize what you're dealing with. You know, you're dealing with a demon in human form. Some of the worst types of human beings. Get away from them. Get the out of Dodge once you realize what's going on. Okay? If you would like to book a reading or a session with me, you can either go to sirensnectar.com or you can DM me on here on Instagram. Okay? I love you.